This is the place to be.
Yeah. Innovationdays.
Good afternoon. This is Morten from Inkish. I have the pleasure to talk to my very good and dear and old friend Franz from Scodix. We have known each other for many years. So welcome here on Inkish, Franz.
Thank you very much, Morten. Good to see you again.
I can't even think about how long time ago we met each other, but it's some years after. Yeah, it was. I think it was when there was something called the Scodix 1000 at least. If we go in the years of the Scodix, right?
Yes. No, I guess we know each other since 6 years or so.
Something like that, yeah. At least before also the pandemic, of course. And you have, on a personal note, you have actually made a good career within Scodix, right? So, I mean, what is the most fun working for Scodix in your view?
I mean, first of all, I would say Scodix is a big family, right? What Eli Greenberg always says when we sold the press to a customer after evaluating the customer demands, when we sold the press, we installed the press, and Eli comes and joins us with the customer, handshaking. He says, "Welcome to the family," and this is a feeling I have since day one. When I met the first time Scodix, this was the previous drupa, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, close to 9 years ago.
So that was when you got involved with Scodix. That was at that drupa that was the last one before the pandemic, basically.
Yeah, this was the first time when I met the Scodix people the first time. When I came to the Scodix booth, I was not working for Scodix yet. Shortly after this drupa, I started joining the team. But then I came to the booth, I said, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you, I can beat you on that, because basically I think it was back in 14 or 15 maybe. I was at a trade show in India, and I have never heard about Scodix before. And then I turned around the corner and saw a Scodix machine, and it was with this famous basketball that was like, where you could touch it, and it was... I was again, like the way that you explained it was blown away. That, I mean, I know that you can do a lot of things in analog, but to do it in digital is even, and I guess that made Scodix one of the pioneers in digital embellishment, right?
Yes. So this was the first moment when I personally met Scodix, and when, as you said, when I was blown away, this emotion within the team, right? A family feeling I never had, not afterwards for sure not, but I mean, eight years now in Scodix, but definitely only, I guess, not that often before I joined Scodix. Second is the technology, the power of innovation Scodix provides, listening to the customers, what they want, what they need. And as a result of that, I guess it's the success.
And that, of course, leads, because one thing is that you have, let's say, emotions for the company and for the technology. But what I think is, of course, equally important, or even more important when it comes to the business side of it, is that you have a technology that deliver the quality, the consistency, and the thing that a digital embellishment machine is supposed to do. And that is I mean, when I saw the 6000 HT at Printing United some years ago, I think it was for the first time, to be honest, where I thought that, okay, now digital, especially on the foil side, I think that this was the first time I thought that, okay, now we are reaching something that has some of the same properties as I like from the analog world. Very thin layer of things, very thin lines of also in the embellishment, and all those things that I think that also you have experienced with your customers was in demand since many years, right?
Right. I mean, there's a lot to say about Scodix, right? And if you ask me, and we have this interview now, why? Because we talk after a while, also in preparation for the next show He was present. Hunkeler in, let's say, in 13 days, right? In Lucerne. And let me say it like this. The last event we had was the big event last year in Drupa in Düsseldorf, right? And if you remember, the story of Drupa 2024 for Scodix was proven. This was one topic. Proven technology. Compared to, let's say, analog technology or to, let's say, digital competition, if there is one, or two or three. Proven technology in terms of industrial usage. We have around 450 installations worldwide. We had.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We had last year, 2024, the best year ever. Why? Because of proven technology that always helps. If you can tell a customer it's not the first one, right? You are now number 427, right? Proven technology, not to say no risk, but there is not that much risk. That's number one. Second topic was, of course, SHD, Smart High Definition, which brings us to the point that I would like to say that compared to the analog technology, we are as good, we are even better in terms of quality, in terms of thin elements, thin text elements, positive, negative 5-point on the B1 sheet. If you want to do that in an analog technology, good luck. This is the reason why.
But sorry to interrupt you, Franz, but that is exactly what I mean, because I mean, when you're like first generation in disruptor in the market, you of course have to make good with the technology available at that time, right? But I mean, the way you have developed the Scodix technology today is even better than you can anticipate in analog. As you say, the finer lines. It's also way easier to combine different technologies in one pass applications that is simply impossible in analog, and therefore you can now actually make something that is creating even higher value for the customers.
High value for the customers. I mean, the first storage presses we sold, giving the customer an add-on. What was in focus? The web-to-print customers. Short runs with an Indigo, with an Xerox, with an Fuji press, whatever you can name it. Short runs, and then embellishment on top of that to create value, right? To create value and margin. Now we have, let's say, close to 100% market share in this segment. So then the question was, what is next? So then, as you said, we started developing the B1 press per 6000. Why B1? Because there's much more B1 offset presses and a few digital in the market for what? For commercial and for packaging and for publishing, right? And then, but then we have a different comparison. We are not comparing, let's say, with we are comparing with analog technology, with bulbs, with kits, whatever, right? And then we need to be as good as or better, right? And then we are talking about replacement business. Why should a customer go from an analog technology to digital? Why? One answer is that the run lengths may go down. And for a job which is 5,000 sheets, to do analog embellishment may cost him thousands of euros for the tools, for the setup time, for whatever. And we help the customers to overcome these limitations of analog technology and to save money.
And you know, when you say that, it reminds me of when you and I were on a small tour in Germany too many years ago, I would say. But it was you told me about, you know, that actually not so many printing companies do in-house embellishment. Often they go to let's say, bookbinderies or companies that are specialized in embellishment. But when you made that, let's say, Excel sheet where you basically tell people how little business, how few sheets you basically need to convert in-house rather than using an external, is not a very large number before it can pay off having a machine yourself, right? And I think that what people has also realized when I speak to people that have Scodix equipment is that when you have the technology in-house, you start to sell it and utilize it more than if you have to buy it from the outside. And that makes a differentiation from you as a company, so you can make more money as a company by offering these embellishment opportunities. Is that still the case?
It is still the case. It is still the case. I mean, I have this kind of, let's say, conversation with customers, with potential customers every day, more or less. And customers sometimes say, I don't have the volume to invest in a Scodix. And then I'm giving them the facts. I mean, yes, you do need some volume. Yes, you do. The question,
of course, I mean, you don't make one a month, and it's too small.
Nobody is investing whatever amount of money, 500, a million, whatever it is, just for fun.
No, of course not. This is a business,
right? And the good news is the business case starts at a B2 press at 2 hours a day. You need to have the jobs per day for 2 hours, and for.
Is that where it starts today? Is basically that if you can have business in a B2 format for like 2 hours a day, then it becomes something that you should look into.
Then there is a business case. You're making money. Also depends, of course, to be very open with you. Depends on the business model the customer is following.
Of course.
B2B, B2C. On the B2C model, the companies make a lot of money. Can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
In B2B, less. I agree. But again, in B2, there's 2 hours volume you should, and you need to have to be profitable. And on the one press, approximately 4 hours.
Amazing. And I can't help think about, because you are a member of Tactiful in the US, who we also collaborate with, and I think it's quite interesting because let's say the calculation tools that they have developed basically speaks the same language as you do, right? That this is creating real substantial value for the people that own digital embellishment, and therefore, of course, something that you should look into. I have a question, Franz. I was just thinking that if you look at the 450 installations you have worldwide today, do you see that after the machines go into operation, do you see a growth within these companies, or does it become more stable over time? I'm asking because I'm curious about my claim that when you have the machine, you will see an increased business opportunity. So the business case changes from, let's say, instead of, if you can make a business of 2 hours a day, then of course it should be double as good if it's 4 hours a day.
I mean,
right?
To have a volume, whatever it is, 4 hours a day is let's say the starting point that makes sense to think in an investment. Customers may say, I have the 2 hours, I have 4 hours, I have 1 shift, 2 shifts, 3 shifts. Of course, this is something what we need to look into it together with the customer to see what can be converted from analog to digital, also technically. What makes sense in terms of, can you save time and money or not? I mean, there's also, if a customer tells me, I have a job here, this is a run length of 500,000 sheets. Don't do it in digital. Don't do that. No, even don't think about that, because it is more expensive. But as long as let's say 100 sheets per job up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 sheets, depends also on the design, on the ink coverage, on different things. Then you can think about that, and you should think about that. And when a customer has, to answer your question, when a customer has a Scodix press, then we are starting with some jobs, and then we develop together. I was today in a packaging printing company in Germany, close to Munich, and we are working with these guys very closely, and they got the press a year ago, more or less, a 6,500 SSG, a very big corporate packaging printing company. And now they are moving with our help, supporting them from the learning curve to help them, more and more jobs from analog to digital, right? Now, after a year, they are not at 2 hours or 4 hours. They are at this moment, if I'm not wrong, I guess at 6 hours. So 1.5 shifts. And of course, the target is to bring it to 2 shifts and to 3. They have the volume, but they do it step by step, which makes sense.
And I guess also, as far as I remember, you have even customers that have more than one machine as well, right? So I mean, that is an opportunity, of course, that you can outgrow the let's say the productivity of one machine and basically also make money on the second and maybe even third machine. Right?
I mean, we do not push customers to order 2 presses. Why? For backup reasons, whatever. I mean, our press is for industrial usage, and the presses are highly reliable. This is proven technology. This is proven also from our side, and I'm not sure whether we spoke about that yet. We have, by statistic, a mean time between visits, first visit, next visit, of around 150, 180 days. So this gives reliability, and there is no need for a customer to talk about the backup. If the board grows, it may make sense to talk about the second press. I mean, we have in Munich, we have an installation with 4 presses in a row. 4 presses in a row. We did that installation shortly before drupa. Why 4 presses? Because the customer has the volume.
Yeah, but that was my point. It was not like I was pointing at any backup or anything like that. Well, Franz, as you pointed out, 13 days, Innovation Days. What can people expect from you guys there? Oh no! Don't. You should be arms up and say, yeah, we have a lot of good things for you to see.
We have a lot to talk about. As I said before, coming from the last event, drupa, proven technology, SHD, the second topic, and the third topic we had was uncoated, unprimed, uncoated substrate with so-called MLE, multi-layer enhancement. So since drupa, we continue working, and what customers coming to our booth will see is dedicated for the publishing, because we all know Hunkeler is especially mainly for publishing, book printing companies, but also for packaging. So what customers coming to our booth will see is another, next to the 60 uncoated substrates we have seen in drupa, another 30 we tested. And now it comes very well-known substrates from market leaders, suppliers of substrates for publishing and packaging, and uncoated leather, whatever you want. Yeah, not whatever you want, but enough. What I tell you, before we got MLE uncoated, all that stuff, technically, before drupa, if somebody would have shown me a substrate like this, what you will see in Hunkeler, I would have said, no, will never work. Never. And you will see mind-blowing substrates we embellished with Scodix in quality, and also books, notebooks. We are preparing, I hope it will work to that moment, notebooks, luxury notebooks embellished with Scodix on premium substrate for this day, well-known substrate for this day.
So a lot of samples, a lot of opportunities to talk about the business cases, understanding the technologies, how it can make your business more profitable. Those kind of things is what people should expect from you guys. But that's not a bad problem.
It's
right?
Not a bad problem. No. A few years ago, if talking to customers, especially if you came to the point substrates and uncoated, we always had a way to a workaround to make it work, but with, let's say, limitations. And this is where our competition is at this moment still, and probably from my perspective will remain on these limitations. Sorry for that.
I know
Yeah,
you
you know
friends.
it. People looking to
Yeah.
that may not know me, but now they know me.
Now
Seriously,
they will. Yeah.
but seriously, all these limitations we had for years and years and years. I would say that most of them are done. There's always a limitation. You will find one, right? But in terms
Okay, but let's say that. I mean, I believe you, and I think that what I see is proven technology and all the things you talk about. So, last thing I want to know this as well. When you visit the companies and you also maybe sneak around in the R&D labs in Israel, I was just wondering, what are the trends? What is it that people want? Is it even finer resolutions? Is it more types of embellishment, or is it more speed, or what are the trends?
it's not speed. Speed. I mean, you mean the speed of the press or speed of development?
Nah, I was more thinking. I was just thinking. When we talk about when we go to Innovationdays, of course, one of the things that we see is this transformation where the quality of the presses and the speed of the presses, and maybe even operational cost of some of these inkjet presses are, biting a little bit into the offset world, right? And commercial print. And I was just wondering, because the more digitalization we see, the more the needs are for a lot of different, let's say, technologies when it comes to embellishment and bindings in order to follow through with that development. So I was just wondering, when you visit your customers, are they asking for, as you say, they're not asking for faster presses, so what are they asking for? What would they like to buy next time?
Customers in the first moment may ask for more speed, right?
More speed. To make it more not compatible, but more aligned with the speed also of the offset presses, because you say with the B1 there is a need, of course, to especially if you make, let's say, 5,000 covers in B1 for a book where it still makes sense to use it. So of course the speed plays a role.
Speed is definitely a topic, but more important is from our perspective, the compatibility to substrates. Yeah.
Okay, so that is like, so this is still like something where people would like it to be like as broad as possible, because, basically. Yeah. And that is part of what you're showing,
yes,
right?
This is the topic, to have the compatibility to any substrate, which is on the wish list. Performance press is, we are at the 1500 max speed. And some of our competitors may say, this is not, we are at 5,000, up to 5,000, whatever it is. But you cannot run these substrates. Okay.
Okay, so basically that is like one of the KPIs of buying a Scodix, is that it may on specs look a little bit slower than some of the competitors, but because it has a media diversity and it has a more uptime, basically that outpaces the, let's say, the on paper differentiations in the products. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And on the other hand, we do not compare ourselves with digital embellishment. Our competition is analog. And to see to the entire process how to embellish with analog, you need time to order the tools, waiting for the tools, getting the tools, setting the press up, waiting for the temperature, making the register, blah 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 blah. So this takes, including the waiting time for the tools, maybe a week, right? If you have the tools, it takes you, depending on the design, on the imposition, takes you up to 4, 5, 6 hours to set the press up. Our setup time is 2 minutes. So is
that's of course a little bit different, right?
Speed,
yeah.
Important? No. It is always important. We are not running 200 sheets an hour. Yeah. But more important is the variety of what we can do, and reliability, as I said before. Or,
One of the things that I would like to see from Scodix, to be honest, I don't know if you have a website where I can put my wishes in, but now you get them here, right?
Yes.
and that go to the VP instead, right? That is much easier, right? No, I was just thinking that one of the things I like in the analog world is that when I see how cold foil is playing a role in packaging, where you can make overprint easily. That is, when you want to have multicolors foiling, I think that is something that could be super cool. Also to see in the digital space a little bit more on larger formats, because you see that in some smaller formats. That is something that I would like to see personally. I don't know if there's a market for it, I would say, but I just say that from, let's say, the nature of embellishment looking great, and from also when I talk to packaging companies, I think that could make sense. I also think that I was just about, some kind of a turn bar so you can make online applications would also be something that could be super interesting to look into. So are these some of the things that you might think of that could be, I'm not asking for like a commitment, but is that something that you hear from others, or is it just me saying this? Or
I mean, you spoke about overprinting foil. This is possible. It depends, of course, on the thickness.
Yeah, and you have thin foil, so of course, if
flat
you have
foil,
the
you can overprint.
Okay, so basically you can't do it today. I was more thinking, because when you look at packaging where you have like these, we have been filming a few Eagle customers where they have like these big surfaces of silver foil that you overprint for specific things. With all respect, I mean, on the Scodix you have, of course, you have the width, but typically you put in the size of the foil that you need to save foil, right? And that was why I was thinking that it might make sense. I'm sorry that I'm getting down this road. It was just like because I was thinking that it is as one of the front runners in the digital embellishment. I think you should push yourself a little bit. That's what I'm saying.
We do our best.
I know you do that.
But generally speaking, Morten, I mean, we are always more than happy to get all this input. And this is what we do. Yeah. We get input from customers asking for this and for that, right?
I know that because when I talk to Scodix customers, I think that, I think that you have brilliant engineers, and when Eli started the company, he had a great vision and a great idea. A lot of the things where you are today is obviously based on customer feedback. Otherwise, no companies will get to the size that you have reached and the success you have in the market. That is obviously because you listen to the market. So I have no doubts about that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Are you looking forward to go to Hunkeler this time, or do you rather wanted to be home with your Porsche and your dog, or?
No, I will be there. I will be from the 24th to the 27th, the full time. I will be on site. Next to me, there will be, of course, Eli Greenberg for I guess for the first 2 days, if I'm not wrong. Then there will be Xavier Bastille for the French-speaking customers. He's in charge for France and Benelux and Spain. I will be there for the German-speaking people, Swiss, Austrian, Germans. We will have, of course, then marketing people there supporting us. So we expect a lot of people coming over.
That's good.
And we are more than happy to welcome everybody, including you, Morten.
But we will come by and make an interview from your booth as well, because we want to have some really cameras instead of this webcam, so we can get some close-ups of the fantastic samples that you normally do. And by the way, I also want to congratulate you on that from drupa. I think that your booth, using your own technology to that extent, was spot on. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. The booth, the people, the time. It wasn't hardcore like always, drupa, but it was fun. Fun.
That's great. Franz, I look forward to see you and your team in Lucerne in 13 days. It makes me sweat when you say 13 days. Yeah, okay. Let's hope we're prepared, all of us, because I can tell you when Chica and I was visiting today, there's still some way to go, I would say. But 13 days is also many days, of course.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
all the best and see you soon.
See you soon, Morten. Thanks for
Yeah.
the. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.